Hey everybody, it's Kristen or VSG Heart on My Sleeve, and I'm here with my 6-month post-op video. This one is in response to my original video about fears of a pre-op. So I remember when I made that video, Max Benson saying, "I can't wait for you to make your My Fears Were Unfounded video." So Max, finally, 6 months later, here you go. I will say there's a link below in the description with the original video, which was, I think, called Number 6 Fears of a Pre-Op. So let me go down this list of my fears and discuss what's happened and whether they were founded or unfounded. Okay, so my first fear at the time was pain from the surgery, pain from the gas at the incision sites. I would say that fear was pretty much unfounded. I had no gas pains. I really had no pain from the surgery. It felt like I had done a really hard ab workout. The incision sites themselves were not painful. The only sort of soreness, I would say I felt soreness in my abdomen, like I had been kicked in the gut or something. I did have a few times where the incision site around the drain was painful, but that's because like the drain itself got yanked on or pulled on or slipped or something, and it was like, ooh, that hurt. But that's it. So don't fear the pain, at least not from my experience. It wasn't a big deal. Second fear was feeling hungry and not being able to eat because the pouch wouldn't allow me to. Completely ridiculous. First of all, I rarely feel hungry. I definitely sometimes have head hunger or, that snacking feeling like, oh, that sounds good. But I really don't hardly ever feel hungry. I sort of can tell, like, my blood sugar's low sometimes. I don't know how else to explain it. I think that's what it is. It's sort of like a weak feeling, like, okay, I need to eat, I haven't eaten in a while. But I hardly ever get like a grumbly, growling stomach. Sometimes I do, and that's when I know I need to eat something. But I never really feel like starving. I never have. That was the amazing thing after surgery, when you're on this liquid diet, that you're like, I can't believe I'm not starving, and you just really aren't. So that fear was a little bit crazy. Third fear I mentioned was migraine headaches. I was afraid that not having caffeine or letting my blood sugar get too low, that I would get headaches from hunger. That was because I've always had migraines in my life, and if you've had a migraine, you know it's not fun. So I can say honestly, I have not had a single migraine from like low blood sugar or hunger. I have had 2 migraines total in 6 months. I used to get maybe 2 a month. So if anything, my migraines have gotten drastically better. And I would say of those migraines, only one of them was one of the ones where you're like in bed in the dark. And I think there's a good chance that was because I let myself get dehydrated, and then I went and worked out, so I got even more dehydrated. So migraines have been drastically improved, and I'm so thankful for that, and it definitely is an unfounded fear. I was also afraid of scars, that they would be really gross looking. I don't love my scars, I'm not gonna lie, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 incision sites. So one of them's in my belly button. You can't see it at all. 3 of them are pretty tiny and they're fading away. 2 of them are up on my rib cage. One of them is lower on the right hand side. Those 3 I'm not really concerned about. I think they will eventually be completely gone. I do have a little bit larger of a scar where my incision site from the drain was, and that's probably because I had a drain for 10 days. Stay tuned, because I will show you my scars in my last video of this week, which is going to be sort of like a 6-month before and after video. Also, you can see right after I had my drain out, I think, I did a video where I showed my incision sites at the time. But as far as the scars go, they're really not as bad as what you think they're going to be. I'm sensitive to it. I call it my Franken tummy. But then again, I wore my first bikini in Arizona like a month and a half ago, and I just said, screw it. If people want to look at my little Franken tummy, then go for it. So it's kind of silly to be afraid of those. The hair loss was a big fear. The hair loss sucks, I'm not gonna lie. I have lost a lot of hair. I definitely have some spots back in here that are like thinner spots where if I were to like pull my hair up and clip it, you could see like the thinner hair down here. However, according to my nutritionist, that ends in the 6th month. Like the worst part of it is from month 3 to month 6. And if this is as bad as it's ever gonna get, then you can live with it. I mean, I don't think anybody would ever really notice. At least that's what my husband, my mom tell me. I've talked to them about it, that it's, I'm definitely self-conscious of it. I wear my hair like this, like in a ponytail more often because I'm afraid to kind of pull my hair half up. But I can already see some areas where I have like new growth coming in, so I don't think the hair loss is not horrible. I mean, it's not like you go bald, but it's not really fun either. I was afraid of eating out, that I wouldn't enjoy it because my family eats out a lot. My husband and I have always eaten out a lot. Totally unfounded fear. I can go to any restaurant. I've been out plenty of times, probably every other week, and there's always healthy choices on the menu. I love eating out still. We've gone to really nice restaurants. In fact, the nicer the restaurant, usually the smaller the portion, so it works for me. But what we've done with eating out, and I've talked about it in other videos, is we'll share a meal, or I'll get an appetizer instead of a meal, or I'll order a kid's meal when possible, or I'll get a meal and then split it with my son. So it's saving us money eating out, and I still love to eat out. It hasn't affected that at all. The only bummer is I catch myself being in check, and that's why I love my sleeve. Because in a restaurant where they have great food, you do think like, oh, really wish I could keep eating, but my sleeve is telling me no. So it's a good thing, and it doesn't make eating out any less fun. I was also really afraid of having grief over food. I love to cook. Like I said, we eat out a lot. I was really, really afraid that I was going to go through like a drastic depression over this. I can tell you I had none. Like from day one, it didn't bother me. I was prepared for my family eating in front of me to bother me. It didn't. Even when I was on like liquids and the mushy or soft foods part of the pureed part of the diet, it never has bothered me. I've never felt depressed over not being able to eat, because you can pretty much eat what you want. At least I can. I know some people maybe can't, but it's not, I haven't had any grief over food. So I'm really thankful for that. That being said, I know there are people who do, and it's a serious thing, and if you do, it's normal. You know, a lot of, I guess at least like 50% of people probably do. And talk to your doctor, because I know they can put you on antidepressants and things to sort of get you through or counsel you through that tough time. But I have to say I had none. And finally, the biggest one, my biggest fear going into this surgery, more than not waking up, more than the pain, was fear of failure, that this just wouldn't work for me, and that I'd go through all of this for nothing, and I'd be embarrassed because I finally put myself out there saying, I need help. I can't do this just dieting and exercising. And I'd finally let myself go to the place of, you know, dreaming, maybe someday I will be healthy. Maybe someday I will fit into a pair of skinny jeans. Maybe someday I can wear a bikini. Maybe someday I won't think that I'm a hideous, obese, fat person, and I'll be comfortable going anywhere and not be like a shut-in. You know, maybe someday I'll feel good about myself. So you let yourself go there when you choose to have this surgery. You start dreaming of a better life, a healthier life for yourself. And I was afraid that I would go there and this wouldn't work, and I'd be devastated. But here I am, 6 months later, 63 pounds down. I have 20 some to go. I would say it worked. I'm happy, I'm healthier. I'm never going back to where I was. And, you know, all of the things I was afraid of, I think they're totally normal, but they're really kind of silly. And if you are pre-op, you will see, and you might have some of the same fears. And, you know, I can tell you, or you could watch 15 YouTube videos saying that you have nothing to worry about, and you'll still worry about it because it's normal. I did, most people probably did. But you'll see when you get on the other side that a lot of those fears are really kind of silly and unnecessary and completely unfounded. So 6 months later, update on my fears of a pre-op, now from the place of a post-op. I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be a review of my NSVs I was hoping for when I was a pre-op.